From the beginning until the end, it taught me a lot of lessons about myself as I went deeper into it. So one of the key lessons it taught me was to let go and trust the experience. This is one of the things which at other times in the past I was maybe a bit hesitant about what is going on, is this the right way how I'm supposed to experience, or having expectations about what I'm supposed to experience. However, as I went through the experience, I realized everything I was going through is what I needed to go through in that moment, so that I could learn whatever lessons I needed to learn. And after I had this realization, I started to let go of the judgment or having this certain expectation of how it's supposed to happen, and instead just listening and being aware of the lessons coming through. And one of the key lessons was let go and observe and connect with the feelings inside of you. That was one key lesson which I realized many of the times in my day-to-day life. I realize I prevent myself from trying to feel something I don't like to feel, and I don't like to experience some previous pains in my past, traumas, certain situations I did not like, where I didn't feel good about myself, where I felt hurt, from others. I felt like I don't like to experience those, and I even make myself forget about it, and then I find myself, I recognize in my life, it becomes fragmented, because my life, it will become sort of a journey of like trying to do those things which I do like to do, and avoiding the things I do not like to do, right? And then the more I avoid the things I don't like to do, the more they keep coming back and becoming more painful, and it becomes like this duality of like running away from the things I don't like and going towards the things I do like. And going through this experience, it taught me that life is about living it totally, living it whole, about accepting all parts of it, and not being afraid of my experiences in the past. And once I had this recognition, it was not so scary after all. It was just something that I went through, and I felt it, and it just kind of went through my body, and it kind of just left me, and I kind of experienced it. And as I did that, there's a certain time where even certain memories with my parents came, in the past, and forgiveness happened about them, compassion, love, and I felt that, I felt it right in my heart, and it was a great lesson to be able to experience that. So yeah, there was a lot that I took away from this experience. However, I would say the key takeaway is, do not be afraid of the past and who I am, and take the courage to do the inner work, go deep down. And that's what I would say for anyone doing this, because I have done this in the past, but I could easily just have fun and be distracted with something, but not do the deep inner work. But what I did this one time, I really went deep down and I did the work, and maybe not all of it felt great, but I realized it's not at all much about the feeling. The feeling is a nice bonus, but doing the right thing and working through myself and what needs to be done is truly what can bring the transformation. With San Pedro, one thing I will say also similar to the mushrooms experience is that it will give you a certain lessons and teaching. However, how much you're open to it, how much I was open to it, how much I wanted to learn, that's how much it gave me. So similarly, I found out that it was subtle. San Pedro was subtle and grounding and to the body. What it did to me is it made me aware of certain blocks, certain energy blockages in my body, certain stuck emotions there, heaviness. It brought it out, things which maybe I wasn't aware. And by bringing it out, it let me know that it's time to let those go, because those are not truly so much aligned with being present in the moment, and the true, and in other words, the true reality. What I mean to say is the present moment, the highest version of myself, just really how I want to ideally exist, it kind of brought all of that into the surface and letting me know. However, I still have to be the one who make the effort to let it go and put the work in. So I did put the work this time. Last time, not as much as this time, but that's one of the things I also realized with San Pedro. It's kind of like a gentle, like a push, like a nudge. I was gonna say, to do the work, but it's also respectful of like we're the ones also like have to work with it. So it kind of works with us together, right? So that's kind of what I realized, having that relationship with the plant itself, with the spirit, to kind of like allow it to teach us and to do the inner work. So that's what I did, and it was a great experience going in the forest and walking around in nature and connecting with the nature and seeing so much of ourselves in nature as we're connected with that. So definitely, it carries that frequency of connectedness with nature is so much, and it's a great tool for allowing to connect with nature very deeply and connect with ourselves very deeply, because we're also a part of nature and we're all connected deep down, behind that. So that's what it taught me, one of the many things. The general takeaway will be to be present, live life in the moment. The breath is another thing, be aware of the breath, of breathing. Something which I learned throughout this experience is that the one, I would say, thread connecting to the present moment and connecting to the higher states of consciousness is breathing, conscious breathing. So that's something which I did more this weekend, and I became more aware of, and I'd like to continue more on my day-to-day life. And as I'm becoming present and more aware, just live life from that perspective of consciously existing in my highest potential, and to be present and making conscious choices, and at the same time taking time throughout the day to dig deeper and recognize what are certain blockages, certain things that are still in my emotional past, in my past emotions, certain patterns, still in my body, certain things I went through which are still energetical blockages or some energetic imprints in my body, which sooner or later they will come out. Maybe they will come out. They will come on a day-to-day moment. However, I feel like I'm going to take a more proactive approach to dig deep and kind of let them go, because end of the day, that is who I am, and by taking this time to do this deep inner work, I will invest in becoming, in raising my frequency even more, and in a more pleasant, joyful existence for myself. This deep inner work, whatever I'm saying, even for me in the past, it may not come effortless. It may feel difficult. It may feel like a lot of work. All parts of ourselves, our mind, how we think, how we've been told in today's society, we may not want to face the things which hurt us or are painful or are difficult. We may not want to do it. However, I'm here to encourage everyone to do that, to do it, because we have to do it at some point. Sooner or later we have to face who we are, and we have to dig deep. And if we don't do it now, then some life circumstance will happen where it'll be like this very difficult life circumstance that it'll bring everything out, and suffering will make us face it. Life eventually does make us face many of those things. However, we do not need to wait for that. We can do it now. So life itself, they can mature us to deal with those things. However, what the word of encouragement I will say is that you can do it step by step. Start now, and go through the journey, go through the process, and you will not regret it. It will be a great decision for yourself and others.